All right, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Show Choir Nation. I'm your host, William. Alongside me is my co-host, Ethan. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I'm really tired. I'm really tired tonight. I woke up just right before this. But yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. It was a good day. Um, better weather on the horizon, I hope. Like we're just right in the mix of like that where it's warm enough to not have to wear a jacket, but it's still pretty cold every now and then. Um, we got that fake spring everyone talks about for what was like 3 days. I want fake spring back. It was pretty nice. But yeah, besides that, everything's going good, and we're in the heart of show choir season. I think it's like 30 plus events this upcoming week, which woof, maybe even more than 35. I don't know. I tried counting the other
I
day.
think Atlantic got canceled, so I don't think we're going to hit 35.
Ah, darn.
I think we might have stalled out at 34.
All right. Well, I mean, 30 still above 30 is an impressive number. It's a crazy number. We're in this peak season, and we're about to turn the calendar over to March, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, we'll get into it, but I watched 2 choirs in their seasons this past weekend, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're already like seasons are already ending. Time flies when you're having fun, but yeah, been having a blast, and yeah, it's going good. You will say it's going good.
Yeah, I mean, I left work on Thursday to go drive to a comp, and it was 60 degrees. And by the time I got to my destination for the night, it was snowing, which
I was
let's
gonna say,
do
yeah,
the
you
math.
went through like a storm, didn't you? Or
We went from 60 degrees to 32 degrees. That's a difference of, or at highest 32 degrees. So that's a difference of at least 28 degrees. However, it should be in the 60s where I am this weekend. So I think I'll enjoy that a little bit.
that'll be nice. That'll be nice.
We will make the third, I believe, appearance of our much behooved rapid fire chaos round. And this week we are even randomizing the order of the topics to throw an extra little bit of chaos in there. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the rapid fire chaos round, we have 21 different competitions that we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about them for 30 seconds apiece. We are not going to cover every storyline from these competitions. However, it is just the ones that seem most interesting or most chaotic to us. Ethan, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I will lead off. Let's go to Arizona at the Boulder Creek Showdown in the desert. 5 final spots here. 2 of them went to Horizon, including the win. 2 of them went to Valley Vista. The 5th one up for grabs. Some people thought that Shadow Ridge or Willow Canyon might grab it. However, it was Fuse Inferno, which is not even a school. It's a performing arts group in the Phoenix area. First ever show choir competition, and they make finals at Boulder Creek.
A Cedar Rapids Jefferson Show Choir Invitational. This one scared me the first time I looked at it. I won't lie. I looked at the results and I was like, hold up. Why is no one talking about Iowa City beating Linmar? And I was like, oh, wait. It's not that Linmar. It's Linmar in step, who was a heck of a show in getting second place here, making my heart drop with an outstanding placement. Iowa City, it ended up getting the win with best vocals, best choreography, and, of course, outstanding solo. Linmar was the best band. Huge win for Iowa City. I believe this wraps up their season. They had a kind of a weird type of year, a fun one. Matter of fact, they had 3 wins. The guy's lowest was 4th. They had a 3rd place with the best vocals, so they're all across the board, but they just ended a very, very successful season.
At the Chaparral Showcase in California, Cypress swept over Glendora. Last season, Glendora, arguably the best of the non-Big 3 programs in California. However, after some changes there, it is now Cypress who looks to be at or near the top of the Advanced Mix 2 stack. It is Cypress's first overall GC since Brea Olinda in 2014.
Yeah, so the Kitten Cup, a lot happened at the Kitten Cup. Definitely a lot of talk about the Kenyan Cup. However, results are results. Solon, best vocals, best choreography, best band sweep. Due to a time penalty and a dropout, Brownsburg, both groups were unable to be in finals per director's decisions. Van Buren, the association, ended up winning a stacked tier 3. Norwell Night Moves got 2nd place. Just very interesting competition. I also want to give a huge shout out to Twinsburg. Huge placement for Twinsburg, a group that, bounced back down to tier 2 a couple years ago after being in mixed 1. Great placement here was the second place.
At the Thomas Dale Commonwealth Choral Invitational in Virginia, the large mixed and middle mixed divisions, Cosby and Clover Hill, great job. However, the biggest shock perhaps is the small mixed winner. That is James River Current Edition. They only brought back their mixed group last year. This is their first mixed division win for them since 2013. So it's been a long time since we saw James River at the top of a mixed division.
Pedal. Homewood, the network, got the sweep. Congratulations to them. But Avon holding on their own, getting second here, raising a lot of questions, when a group like Avon goes down south to uncharted territory for them. You never really know how it's going to go, yet they put 2 groups into finals. So congratulations to them. Spain Park ended up splitting them with third place, but Homewood leaves with a grand championship.
At the Franklin Community Show Fest, Saturday's results are what they are. However, let's talk about Friday's middle school results for a little bit in a middle school division loaded with big names such as Carmel and Beaver Creek. The winning group was Lake Forest Revolution from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Their high school companion mixed group did not attend this competition. They just came for fun. They did overall GC a comp last season, and they cleaned out a big Indiana middle school division on Friday.
Down to RBC Fairfield, amazing outing for both their choirs. They go 1 and 2. Scranton ended up getting the fourth place spot, was best overall band. Huge for a program like Fairfield, who's kind of got lost in the mix of the crazy Ohio scene. Definitely has to feel good for the program, going in the right direction.
At the Cameron Show Fest, at the end of finals, it was the Oak Park Oak Street Singers who took the win over Muscatine and Platte County. It is Oak Park's second win of the season. Both of them kind of coming in Missouri competitions where you look at it and you're like, well, none of the huge contenders are there, so it is anyone's for the taking. Oak Park has continually proven this year that they can rise to the occasion.
In the best of the Midwest, where, not everyone was from the Midwest, Oak Mountain came up and joined some of the party up in Indiana, in Indianapolis. Franklin Central with their second win, best vocals, best band. This comes right after their huge Chesterton outing where they got second place to Carmel. North Central Counterpoints, holy comeback this season is. North Central is one of those choirs that's always been a force in Indianapolis. However, this year is proving that they are getting back to the heights that they're used to. Oak Mountain, they do get an award for their travels. They are leaving with best choreography. In the third place, Fishers rounds out tier 1. Franklin Central was a really, really good win.
At the Wahoo Court of Champions, a traditionally smaller school competition in Nebraska, Hastings uncaged their fourth win this season. Plenty of traditional small school names like Blair and Plattsmouth in finals, also Seward as well. Marion Momentum making finals in that 6th spot. It is their first finals appearance since 2022, so a very good get for the all-girls school from Omaha.
Davenport, mouthful here. Davenport Central Great River Showcase Invitational. Amazing competition. Johnson, after taking a caption off of Lynn Marr, gets a really good win here with a sweep, adding on best crew and best outstanding soloist. The story is, however, Davenport North holding on to their side of the Mississippi River, beating out Noblesville. Huge for Davenport North. Beating an established choir who was once called the best in Indianapolis and Noblesville by fan vote or whatever that was. Johnston, Synergy ended up getting 4th place as well. Mundelein Sound from Illinois, 5th. Noblesville New Dimension, 6th. So great finals round at Davenport Central.
At the Hamilton Double H Showcase in Ohio, we saw a matchup between arguably 2 of Tennessee's best show choirs. Rip McGavick, Capital Sounds, Real Ones Know. You won at Donaldson in 2020. However, the best 2 in Tennessee right now, Donaldson Christian and Bradley Central, competed at Hamilton. This one saw Donaldson Christian Legacy coming in 3rd and Bradley Central Vocal Motion coming in 4th. However, I have it on good terms that both choirs impressed the locals.
At Hastings, swinging on the river, Bloomington Kitty gets a really, really tough win over a hot Waconia Power Company. But I mean, Bloomington Kinney probably is one of the only other choirs that's hot as Waconia was going into this competition. Bloomington Jefferson, a rising choir who's had an up and down year, finishes with a top podium placement. Bemidji riding right behind him in the fourth. Huge win for Bloomington Kennedy. They're on a run right now. Did they do best soloist? I don't see a
They
best
did.
soloist. So I mean, that's just something that sticks out to me. However, huge win for them, beating choirs like Waconia and Bloomington Jefferson, who are having very good years.
Down at Monona Grove in Wisconsin, Sauk Prairie took a no-caption win. It is their first win since the 2023 season. They've had fourths, thirds, seconds, and now first this season, so just straight up the line for Sauk Prairie. DePere Jam Session taking home Best Vocals and Best Choreography. New London Vision in third, and Preble Center Stage in fourth with Best Band. Northeast Wisconsin takes 3 of the top 4 spots at Monona Grove in the southern part of the state.
Yeah, we had a little shakeup at Indianola. You look at the grand championship, not too much of a surprise here with Cedar Rapids Kennedy Happiness Inc. Best vocals, best choreography. However, a 2A choir in Des Moines Christian Light Inc., although they are very established, beat a 4A choir in Prairie the Ambassadors. In fourth place was Millard South on Stage, Liberty Storm in the 5, Norwalk Sound Revolution in the 6. But when your top 3 placements are Cedar Rapids Kennedy, Des Moines Christians, and Prairie, that does raise some eyebrows, even though there are 3 very, very, very solid choirs.
Over in Columbia, Missouri, it was the Rockbridge South Side Showdown. The winner of this one, Hannibal River City Review, in a split caption decision over the Jenks Trojaneers. Hannibal, a little bit of a nomad sitting on the Mississippi River, not in one of Missouri's prime show choir areas like Columbia, Kansas City, or the Southwest Belt. However, River City Review, they make a good go of it. They are a sneaky, dangerous choir. Certainly not the first time Hannibal has won, and probably not the last time either.
Broken Arrow went down to Texas, and they do what they do. Best vocals, best choreography, best band. They're on a roll right now. However, the true story of Texas, even though this field is stacked, was very amazing Texas choirs. Keller Blue Lights and Keller Central, they've gone back and forth now twice. Keller Central got the best of Keller at their first competition. Keller gets the best of them here. Keller Blue Lights gets second place. Keller Central Voices of Central get third. Fossil Ridge in fourth. Timber Creek in the 5 spot.
At a Medford red-white spotlight that saw a very, very local field. At the end of the day, Eau Claire North Northernaires took home their first win in program history. Northernaires, new director after the pandemic, new choreographer a year after the pandemic as well. They've steadily built from not making finals at all in 2023 all the way up to winning a competition in 2026. Good placements as well for Crosstown Eau Claire Memorial, as well as Chippewa Falls, Ashland, and Altoona, all from Northwest Wisconsin.
We head to Nevada. Nevada was the Neo Show. Neo Show ended up putting 3 choirs in the finals. That's Neo Show Corollaires, that's Neo Show Sugar and Spice, and Neo Show Phenomenon. Web City Seniors ended up getting second place, was best show design. A story here is Carthage not making finals. I personally don't know what happened there. However, Carthage is one of those choirs that is very, very good. However, this is a very, very good field. Neo Show, best vocals, best band, best choreography. Let me scroll all the way down. Carthage Seniors Sweet Sounds in the single clef division. Neo Show Phenomenon led in the single clef division. However, their I guess you call it sister choir, Sugar Spice, got the best of them in finals.
I believe Phenomenon had the overall lead after prelims as well. So big shakeup going from first to fourth between prelims and finals. The last competition that we will cover is the Spirit Lake Shake the Lakes. This one, several big names: Sioux Falls, Washington, Bishop Heelan, Totino Grace. However, at the end of finals, it was Sioux Center satisfaction. Ladies and gentlemen, they are finally satisfied. They took their first ever win in a commanding decision over Classic Connection and Harmonia Mundi. And by golly, there is nothing better than seeing a 3A group. Obviously, Heelan's a 3A group as well, but a 3A group breaking through for the first time. We saw it with West Branch, a 2A group breaking through a couple weeks ago as well at Keokuk, I believe. Just a lot going on in Iowa this year. Love to see these smaller programs get recognized. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our rapid fire chaos round. If you have stuck around this far, please make sure to like the show and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you are watching this after the fact on Spotify, make sure to follow the show, give us a nice little rating, drop a comment on the episode if you feel so inclined. As well, there are a couple competitions that we did not mention that perhaps had some crazy things going on there. We mentioned one no caption win at Monona Grove. We did not mention another, and that is Dwight D. Eisenhower Express's no caption win at El Paso Gridley. We had boots on the ground for this one. Ethan, I'll let you take this away. What was your experience like at El Paso this past weekend?
It was really good. It was really good. I don't go to El Paso every single year, even though it's right up the road. It's just one of those competitions that Sweens would go to maybe every other year, every 2 years. They go back to back this year, or for the past 2 years. It was a pleasure to go. I think this might have been my favorite time I've gone to El Paso. I feel like things ran very smoothly. I just want to give a huge shout out to all the volunteers, the parents, stage crew. I know that was a big thing last year was the kind of running into the early hours of the morning. That did not happen this time around. With the same caliber of choirs and attendance, even more. I feel like there were so many mixed groups that were fantastic on stage this time around, and I felt like the stage hands and everyone involved did an amazing time. Um, just going down the results, like you said, Dwight D. Eisenhower Express, they got the win. Their only captions were best costumes and best soloist. Dwight D. Eisenhower earlier in the year went to Crete. They swept and didn't win, which that happened this week as well. That's just kind of how show choir rolls this year. So it's just kind of crazy how they went from one side of sweeping and not winning to getting no major caption and winning. That was how tight this field was. I know multiple judges had multiple groups in first place. I know that the choreography award was a centimeter away from another group. I know best vocals was the same. This is just a product of when you have the top 3 choirs here being Dwight D. Eisenhower Express, Troy Buchanan Express, and Mount Zion. I feel like a lot of people went into this with the mindset of, oh, this is the Troy Buchanan versus Mount Zion battle that we were waiting for. However, if you've paid attention like I have at all to the Illinois scene, you can never count out Dwight D. Eisenhower this year or last year. Like these past 2 years that they've been on have been incredible. They put on their shows are so fun. I'm sad that their season's over because I feel like they can cause so much chaos. However, what a way to go out for Dwight D. Eisenhower. It's a show about being in Chicago and raising money to go to Lollapalooza. And then once their closer is all the acts that are at Lollapalooza. So Charlie XCX, Bad Bunny, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Rosier and Bruno Mars. Like it is such a fun show. And they do such a good job presenting it on stage. And, the results are just, people looked at Mount Zion and they're like, yes, they were probably the best dancing wise visually. However, where do their vocals rank? Their vocals probably ranked, second or third in the finals round. And then you look at Troy and you're like, okay, they definitely probably had the best vocals, even though it's close, was probably Dwight D. Eisenhower. However, where does their choreography line up? It's probably second or third. And then you look at Dwight D. Eisenhower, who just got straight 2s across the board for everything. And besides probably a 1 here and there. Like that's how close this competition was. I just want to give a huge props to Sparta. Whoa, Sparta. Sparta. I think this is the first, might be the second time I've seen Sparta. I was pleasantly surprised with Sparta. When they stepped on stage in prelims, I didn't know what to expect. And they came out and they wowed the crowd. And I feel like in finals, they just brought that extra umph vocally. Such an amazing show. The torch lighting, incredible. I feel like that might be a nod in to maybe moment of the year for our show choir homies. It's just one of those unique things where everyone looks in the middle and they're like, what's everyone looking at? And this guy's walking down with the torch and they light the big torch in the middle. It's so much fun. They also had a lot of emotion on stage, this being their last competition, which took me a second to realize.
Wait, Sparta?
Yeah, I think it's their last competition.
I don't. I think they might be going to Fame America in Orlando in a couple
On their
weeks.
choir list, it says this was their last one. So
Oh,
and the way they were on stage, it was so much passion, and there were some tears being um, felt or cried at the end of their ballads, and stuff like that. They left it all on the floor. So I just wanted to give them a huge shout out for stepping up in finals. A group that was kind of teetering on the end was Mantino. You didn't really know if Mantino was going to make finals. They didn't make finals in their last outing. So you really didn't know where they would place, especially with other groups who've had success, Oswego and others. It was just such a tough field that you really didn't know how it was going to go. They really stepped it up in finals locally. At first, you're like, I don't know if if You've Got Mail could probably beat them out for that that fifth spot or whatnot. But Mantino really brought it, and I love to see the progression of their show. And then of course, You've Got Mail is on an incredible run. After losing to, I feel like it's kind of funny that them and Neo Show Phenomenon went up against each other in the beginning of the year because they're the two men's choirs right now who are like just going crazy. And so the fact that they've gone up against each other this year and they're doing crazy results now is just a testament to their programs, and they're doing a fantastic stuff. I was unable to see Quincy Electric Blue. However, I've heard great things. Ben Dabrowski is an amazing director, Mount Zion alum. He's doing great things, and I've heard they've really stepped up this year. And I didn't see Batavia, sadly. However, I know that their choirs going in the right direction. And really quick, just a crazy shakeup. This is my Illinois brain just kind of exploding. Troy Buchanan, going into this competition in Tier 2, their prep choir, you probably thought they were going to be the 1 or 2. They're probably the favorite to be the 1. However, how Illinois Tier 2 has been going, Crete Mooney had their moment in the sun at the 1. Hersher had their moment in the sun at the 1. Danville's right behind them. Sullivan comes out with best choreography in second place. Huge for them because they've always been kind of in that 2-3 spot in a majority of the minds in the Tier 2 scene in Illinois. Crete Mooney in the 3rd. Carmel Catholic in the first time out with the 4 spot. No one saw this coming off the bat. So congratulations to them beating out a choir who was considered probably one of the best to begin the season in Tier 2, being Hersher Class Act. So this was just a fantastic competition. Oh, one more thing. Sparta Rise of Adrenaline also had an amazing, amazing show. I was really impressed. Them and Mount Zion La Femmes had to be like this, like so close. Because I saw it going any which way. So really, really great competition. El Paso Modulations, I got to see their exhibition. Amazing show, very fun show. Costuming, very different. However, it's so El Paso-y. I guess if that makes any sense, some people would understand that in some ways. However, just been a great day, a great competition, and yeah, I felt like this was probably my favorite time being a spectator at El Paso Gridley because the competition was perfectly ran, and I felt like the choirs on stage were fantastic. So that's just my little El Paso Gridley recap.
good. Well, clearly a lot going on there. We don't know who choreographed Sullivan Singers this year, and they're taking Best Choreography Awards.
Yeah.
So if you know who's choreographing Sullivan, drop a comment and we'll shout them out later in the show. Yeah, sounds like a great experience. Last year when I went to El Paso, I think I lost about 5 pounds in sweat. That gym was so hot. Our prelim awards were at about 8:30.
Which update on that. So they switched their. This could be fake, and this could be like a last year thing. And I also heard maybe last year they were getting a new AC system in there or whatnot. However, I noticed this year for the first time that they got rid of like the lights, like the stage lights, and instead they were LEDs. So it was kind of a weird effect on stage where it was almost like you couldn't see the front row faces every now and then because it'd just be shadows. However, it did cause for the gym to not be a million degrees. There's only one part, and it was during prelim awards where I was like, okay, this is the heat I remember from El Paso. But yeah, I feel like they've done a great job of turning that AC on and opening the doors. But yeah, sorry, continue. But yeah, that was a huge upgrade this year for me.
Well, I was just going to say that I was happy that it seems like things ran smoother this year. Maybe a few less groups doing things with risers and a cooler gym and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the South Omaha Classic in Omaha, Nebraska this past week, and the results of this one: Omaha West Side Amazing Technicolor Show Choir taking home the win with Best Vocals. Millard West West in the Groove, second with Best Choreography and Best Band. Third place, Millard North Infinity. Fourth place, Lincoln East Express. Fifth place, Papio South Titanium. And sixth place, Grand Island Ultimate Image. The winner of the women's division was Millard North Illumination, and the winner of the prep division was Westside Warrior Express. First Nebraska competition since 2023. And I like to think that I picked a good one. This competition just had so much. There were, I think, 6 groups in the prep division and 5 groups in the women's division and 7 groups in the varsity division. So it was like a super even split. It almost felt like you had to get through 11 shows before lunch, and then there were only 7 shows plus an exhibition in between lunch and prelim awards. So it was almost like more of a heavy lift in the morning. But even some of these prep shows between like West Side's prep group and Millard West Swing Cats, like you forget that they're prep groups. Like there's just a lot going on there where you're like, there's a gazillion kids on stage. They're moving well. They're singing well. And overall, I looked at some of those prep shows and I'm like, those probably make finals at some of the Wisconsin competitions that I'm at earlier in the season. And also the women's division as well. Arguably the top 3 women's groups in Nebraska, Millard North, Millard West, and Westside all went at it. And they shook out with Millard North on top. They were 3 really good shows. I wouldn't say any of the shows were bulletproof. There were certainly, even at the end of the season for Millard North, areas to kind of shore up things a little bit. But I talked to one Nebraska show choir dad who said this is probably one of the best girls group shows that I've seen in a long, long time. And while I do not have that much Nebraska ball knowledge, I am very inclined to believe that. I will tell every single choir that I see this, please ditch the screens. It is just distracting, although Millard North, you had one of the better uses of screens that I've seen so far this year. I'll give you that, but still, just screens. No, big personal ick. In terms of the actual finals shows, Grand Island, a Survivor themed show. Usually I am very much against the song Survivor and by Destiny's Child in any kind of show choir show. However, I will count it here. They had the host as the main character and not a contestant as the main character, which I thought was a really unique spin, and it would have been really easy to go a different way than that. 5th place, Papio South Titanium. First time seeing Titanium. This is a group that I wanted to see for a long, long time. Very happy to see them. Lincoln East in 4th. Yeah, this is a group that kind of got off to a late start to their season. A little bit of a low showing at Gretna, pulled out of Gretna East due to sickness. But they came back strong at Lincoln Southwest, and they came back strong here as well. I don't know if this show is as vocally or visually polished as Papio South, but I think just the sheer willpower of the kids in this group got them to 4th. I'd like to shout out Miles Hart, their ballad soloist, just absolutely tore it down the entire set, both in prelims and in finals. Millard North Infinity in 3rd. A very, very good show for Millard North. It's one of those shows where you look at it and you're like, this is absolutely a winning show. A lot of places outside of Omaha, Nebraska. And that's just kind of the game you play. The 10th best choir in Omaha is the 2nd or 3rd best choir in a lot of other regions, but it just kind of is what it is. Last competition of the season for them. I think they were one of the only groups there. It was their last comp of the season. And things were just so raw for them. And it hit me, it kind of like you said, it's like, wow, groups are ending their seasons here. And even though, I still look and I'm like, I got 4 more competitions to go to this year.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, it's not that way. And so, it's certainly very grateful to soak in the moment. 2nd place, Millard West. Boy, if this is the Nebraska version of story shows, sign me up. Characters, big solos, mood lighting, a gigantic set. But in all honesty, I really enjoyed the show. And I don't say that about every story show that I see. But I did find it really enjoyable. I don't know if I would have given them the choreography caption, but I certainly don't disagree with it. I think the gap between them and Westside was super, super close in finals. I think Millard West probably had the biggest prelims to finals kick up that I saw throughout the entire day. So I would like to shout out Millard West for that. And then Westside, I was a little apprehensive about seeing the show because, it's not Doran Johnson anymore, this or that. They hit their opener dance break and I'm like, nothing has changed. Westside has never left. This is still the same Westside that I've known and loved since 2019 when a small town kid from Wisconsin first saw him in Alaska. I could just sit and watch their show 21 times if that's how many choirs were at the competition. Let me do the math. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 7 is 18, plus 6 finals is 24. I could have sat and watched this show 24 times. Like, it's just one of those shows that's paced so well. The arrangements sit right where they're supposed to. The choreography is like textbook Steven Todd stuff. Just beautiful. I love it. I probably would have given them all 3 captions, although I'm not qualified to be a band judge, so I'm not mad about that one either. But it was just phenomenal. The product on stage was phenomenal. The folks at Omaha South were super nice. The auditorium was really warm, although there wasn't a ton you could do about that. All the parents were super nice, even from just all the schools. Met a ton of folks there. Had some phenomenal food as well. Had some kind of enchiladas from a Mexican place right down the street from Omaha South. Omaha South, like, got to be one of the best like lunch situated restaurants for parents and other folks in the country. So many good, authentic Mexican restaurants and food trucks within like 2 blocks. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I was there. Some Millard West parents were there. Some Papio South parents were there. And that was my second choice because the taqueria right across the street from the high school was already full by the time I got there.
Yeah.
So I would like to shout out South 24th in Omaha for great food. I also did get my cheese runza for dinner. So had some great food as well there. Overall, really, really enjoyed my time in Nebraska. Super happy to see all the shows. Even the kind of the beginner programs like Omaha Buena Vista, just to see them out on the stage. They put their 14 kids out there and they sing and dance and show choirs for everyone. Even if you're a bigger school, but you only put 15 kids on stage, I absolutely still want you there and want to see your show. So I had a phenomenal time in Nebraska. Ethan, I know I rambled for like 7 minutes straight. Any questions?
Yeah, I just got let the people know about the this other show choir celebrity you ran into.
Yeah, so I ran into Mr. Coconutty, who is the band mascot for Millard West. Yeah, it's there's a good undercurrent of show choir mascots. I think I've taken photos with 3 show choir mascots so far this season. The first one I think I ever took a photo of was Mo the Penguin from Plymouth Momentum in Wisconsin in 2024. So yeah, there are a lot of show choir mascots out there. I like to think that I'm the smaller show choir celebrity in those situations because how am I supposed to compare to a celebrity coconut? I really can't. So honestly, that was great.
The follower count is unbelievable. Like with the unicorn and the coconut, I'm like, who are following these accounts? And I'm like, man, I mean, they're fun to follow. Like, honestly, going through their posts, I'm like, this is fun. Like, when we were in show choir, we never really had anything like that. Well, around where I'm from. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to look at the other side of people how they have fun traveling around the country.
Yeah, and like I see that Instagram post, and Mr. Grunemeyer from Omaha South is there, and other established show choir dignitaries, and then like I'm just with my goofy smile, and I'm like, I don't deserve to be in this post, but I'm very thankful to be here. So it was a great day. We are going to move on now to the preview section of this week's show. We are about halfway through our hour. So this week's Traveler Award goes to a group from New England. New England, they've had a couple weeks off of the competition scene. They are back this weekend with Somerset Berkeley. However, one group that is not going to Somerset Berkeley is Shepherd Hill. They will be making the trek, as you see here, over 11 hours and 720 miles. Ethan, what do you think about Shepherd Hill trekking over to Ohio?
Count me out. Count me out. No, I mean, this is an experience that they won't forget. I mean, they got to be driving the bus, right? They got to be driving the bus.
I think so.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those experiences that like the bonding with your peers and the people within your choir, and because that's got to feel almost like a cross country trip. I mean, it does. That bus ride can feel very, very long. Even if it is chartered, it could feel very, very long. However, this is something you won't forget. I mean, going to, a place you haven't been to in a while or ever, uncharted territory to go up against groups you rarely ever see. It's going to be a fun time for Shepherd Hill. I wish them the best of luck and safe travels.
So they are going to the Grove City Voices in the Grove competition. In the small mix division, they will face Central Crossing, Norwood, Licking Valley, and Grafton. And in the women's division, they will face Hurricane and Twinsburg. So best of luck to Shepherd Hill here. However, I just want to point out that in calculating this, there were multiple runner-ups in the 6+ hour range that did not make the cut. Do you want to take any random guesses as to who is traveling 6+ hours this weekend?
Shoot, I should have studied before this. Will Soakwit. I hear he might
That
be.
is true. We'll get to that in a hot second.
I hear he might be tracking. Or trucking. Oh, I'm blanking so hard. 6 hours? Ah, you got to just tell me.
So one of them is the St. Francis Bridge Street Singers. They will be traveling from the north side of the Minneapolis Twin Cities Metro to a competition that Ethan knows very well. The Central Lee Central Connections
Oh,
Invitational in Donaldson, Iowa.
yes. What a comp. I mean, if someone was traveling 6 hours to a competition, I probably would never have guessed them going to Central Lee. It's just because it's just one of those choirs that or not choirs, one of those competitions that doesn't track like huge choirs where it's like, oh yeah, it's like a national competition where people will be traveling 6 hours to. However, Central Lee's got to be pumped to have them. They got to be pumped going there. Definitely going to be a good battle for them.
Gonna toss one more comment in about Central Lee here. Everyone get put on watch. Do not be surprised if Johnston Middle School wins that entire competition. They are competing in 4A high school, and looking at the field, there's a non-zero chance that Johnston Middle School wins the entire competition. Ethan, the second choir that is traveling 6+ hours this weekend, that is not this week's Traveler Award, is Falcon Legacy. Which state do you think that Falcon Legacy is from?
Falcon. That makes me think Air Force, and that makes me think Colorado.
You are correct.
Oh my gosh, let's go.
Which competition do you think they're going to?
Oh, it could be anywhere. Give me somewhere in Nebraska. Is there a Nebraska competition this weekend? They're going to Norris.
They're not. They're going to Grand Island.
Man, that's close.
Still Nebraska. We'll give you that. So shout out to St. Francis and Falcon, both traveling 6+ hours, very close to the Traveler Award, if not for Shepherd Hill. Moving into our comps of the week preview. First off, we have the Auburn Choir Showdown. The lineup for this one, very, very big. In the large mixed division, Briarwood Radica, Spain Park Rhapsody in Blue, Pedal Sound Stations, Oak Mountain Singers, Grenada Visions, and Homewood the Network. In the women's division, Albertville Sensations, Briarwood Karis, Pedal Innovations, Oak Mountain Muses, and Homewood Nexus. We have 5 final spots up for grabs here. We have 6 large mixed groups. We also have multiple women's groups who could make a bid at things here. Where do you see things shaking out?
This is going to be a tough one. First off, I want you to plug yourself.
Sure. So I will be on the live stream for Auburn this weekend. I'm very thankful to Aaron Smith and everyone down at Auburn. I'll be on with several notable other show choir media personalities. Dobbs Durkin from the warm-up room, Jason Odom, a.k.a. Coach O from the warm-up room, Bradley Davis of Southern Shows, Omari Daniels, also well-known in the Southern show choir scene. I'm going to be like a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. I'm not going to lie. This is by far the furthest south I will have ever spectated a show choir competition. I don't even know where that would be right now. Probably Mount Zion, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yes, because I've never Nebraska is farther north. I've never been anywhere in Iowa. I've never watched a show choir comp in Missouri. Never been to Ohio. Oh, Edgewood probably. Edgewood is probably in Indiana.
That's why it's head south, right?
Yeah. So,
but pretty close
because that's further south than Terre Haute. So, yeah. So this is by far the farthest south that I will have ever spectated a show choir competition. Very thankful. The live stream, it is paid, but it will be a very, very high quality production. I've seen the control room and all that. We have the best production setup. We have the best on-air talent as well. www.streamshowchoir.com will be the link for that Friday, Saturday, or an all-weekend pass. This one, we just have a lot of storylines in the large mixed division. Ethan, I'm going to lay them out for you this weekend.
Yeah.
It's the first real test for Pedal. They have previously won at West Jones. However, not a ton of competition there. Oak Mountain, we talked about them on the back of a third place plus best choreography at Franklin Central. Homewood also won last weekend at Pedal. However, the last time they were in a larger competition, they fell to West Jones. So they're definitely on the look for a comeback. We have a Briarwood versus Grenada matchup from Tupelo, which resulted in a split caption decision with Briarwood coming out on top.
Yeah.
Spain Park running through an absolute blender this season. We talked about him at Hoover. We talked about him at Oak Mountain. We talked about him at Homewood. Now we're talking about him again at Auburn. Those are 6 large mixed groups. We also have the Pedal Innies, Oak Mountain Muses, Homewood Nexus. Those are 9 groups, and there are 5 high school venue final spots.
Yeah, and just quick shout out to the side of showcar.com here. The tickets, that might be one of the longest tickets bios I've ever seen. I love how specific it is. If you need tickets, you get up, you know how to get them. Okay, there's no questions being asked. It's literally in the script. Everything is to the point, detailed, so you can't get confused. Yeah, this is gonna be an amazing competition. Of course, I wish this was a competition I was at. I mean, this is a fantastic field.
You want to get in the car on Thursday morning?
No, I can't, man. I can't. I can't. You know, if I can't, if Cedar Grove comes to your hometown and Carroll, I would feel like I'm doing a disservice leaving. So I feel like those are choirs I got to see, along with Wheaton North and Troy, and a great field. However, this is an amazing field. This is just so interesting because I feel like a lot of these choirs so far this season have had a hiccup here or there in some sort of fashion. And that's not entirely on them. It's just how the competition's played out. Pedal so far hasn't really had that because of how many comps they've gone to in so far. However, I have like a good omen to me is Oak Mountain going up to Indianapolis and challenging some major choirs up there and leaving with a caption. I know what was it? They didn't get they got second against Clinton and got best overall effect, which is also a very good omen. Look going into this competition. Grenada has had some slip ups. They've lost to who? Is it Tupelo? And they've lost to Briarwood, like you just said. Yeah, and Briarwood coming off of that has to be feeling so good. And you look at any Southern show choir competition in the middle of the pack, it's always Spain Park making a push for a podium, regardless of who's there. Such a strong choir. And then you kind of have the steady hand in Homewood, who kind of they left the door open earlier this year. However, that's basically a month ago, where they got best choreography and they lost to West Jones Imagination, who got best vocals. So I feel like in every which way, someone has kind of left the door open, except for Pedal, because they've only been to one competition thus far. So I feel like this could be. You don't really know what's going to happen as a Midwesterner. Like if I was boots on the ground, maybe I would. But as a Midwesterner, looking at the results and how everyone has done this season, yes, everyone has had success. However, everyone's kind of had their blunders in some shape or form. So it's going to be really, really interesting. If I was to take a stab at it, which I have to, it's my job. I take it very seriously. I would go Homewood with the win. I'm going actually yes, I'm going to go Homewood with the win. I'm going to go Oak Mountain in the 2, Pedal at the 3. I'm going to go Grenada at the 4. I think they can bounce back after Briarwood got them. I'm going to have Briarwood in that 5th spot, which leaves out Spain Park. Which is kind of crazy in the main scheme of things, because watching Spain Park last year, they were like, when you think of a solid show choir and a solid show choir show, that is them. Like they are rock solid in everything that they do. And honestly, I think that would probably be good enough to make them get into this finals field, even with the stacked treble and small mixed. But I just don't know much about Briarwood, and them coming off of what they did to Grenada. I just feel like that's really good momentum coming in. So those are just kind of scenarios I'm looking at in when I look at the field. However, this can go any which way, and I'm super, super, super excited that we will have boots on the ground, giving us all the information. So, Will, are you going to give any thoughts? Or are you going to be partial because you're going to be on the live stream? What's going on?
So we also have small mixed finals at this competition. Small mixed running in Auburn Junior High. Small mixed finals beginning at 3 or 3:30 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. The groups in small mixed: Pike Road Paradigm, Opelika Elevations, Eufaula Vibe, Lakeside Sensation, Chelsea Out of the Blue, Tallahassee Voltage, Oxford Sound. Give me your 3 small mixed finalists.
Oh, I like Oxford Sound a lot. I mean,
I
I
do too.
just look, I like them a lot here. Coming off 5th place, or wait, or was that 2 competitions ago? That was 2 competitions ago where they got 5th place at Northeast Jones, which was a field, stacked with Brandon and so on and so forth. Really, really, really good field. Yeah, I really like Oxford Sound here. My other 2, I feel like Voltage can make a run. Is tier 2 also in this mix?
No, just tier 3.
Okay, I just had to ask because before I got confused. Um, I like Tallahassee to make a run here. My last spot, ooh, just not a lot of people competing yet. I'm gonna go with Opelika Elevations. They got a 2nd place at Tallahassee. However, it's been a month since they've last performed, so who knows what that product might be at this point? It could be really polished, or sometimes when you sit on your hands too long, stuff happens. So, however, those are going to be my top 3.
Yeah, I will go Oxford, Lakeside, and Chelsea. So
Nice.
we'll see how that one shakes out. We're going to Liberty. This may or may not have been a town that I drove through on the way to Omaha this past weekend. The Storm the Stage lineup in the 3A Division, Benton Community Celebration Co. In the 4A Division, Ankeny Centennial Spectrum, Ankeny Centennial Vortex, Cedar Rapids Kennedy Happiness Inc., Prairie the Ambassadors, Waukee Millennium, and Linn-Mar 10th Street Edition. We have 2 choirs walking into this one undefeated so far this year, and that is Linn-Mar and Ankeny Centennial.
What a field. I mean, I feel like this is one of those battles where you get midway through half the year or the end of the year for some of these choirs, and it's like, this is what we've been waiting for. Like, this is what we've been waiting for. And someone's gonna get their chance as someone, and vice versa. It's gonna be a great, great, great competition. Like you just said, we have choirs here who have had a lot of success. How many finalists you say? 6? 6. That's usually how it goes in Iowa at Wibberdy Bibberdy. Oh my gosh, I forgot to use that meme this weekend. I failed. I totally failed. Get them next year. Wibberdy Bibberdy. Where are you?
Go check out our Instagram page at Homeroom SC if you want to see Ethan's failure.
Your mother is sick. You're at North Liberty right now. So I'm gonna go Linn-Mar. Ankeny Centennial has stared at me right in the face, scaring me when I make that decision. They really are. They scare me. However, until proven wrong, I don't want to go in another direction. So I'm gonna go Linn-Mar 10th Street Edition. At the 1, the 2, I'm gonna go Ankeny Centennial. At the 3,
pause. We get a Prairie versus Waukee rematch from Johnston in January.
I know.
Continue.
I'm gonna go Waukee.
You are.
I'm gonna go Waukee. I don't know. I just feel
flipping
like
the script.
Yeah, I feel like I just don't know how much. Again, I'm not in the room. I haven't seen Prairie show. Just looking at results, I just don't know how much I see them making that jump again. Especially after last time out. I mean, Des Moines Christian is an amazing choir. There's no doubt about it. However, I know a lot of people saw Prairie as probably that dog for 2. Des Moines Christian is.
Oh, okay. Not sure what happened. However, we'll keep going. I'll just throw my predictions in the hat here.
I'm getting really good at that, Will. I'm getting so good at it that I might be.
You're just keeping me on my toes.
I might be the best. Just me being me. Okay, so back to where I was saying to finish it up. That's gonna be a tough battle, Waukee versus Prairie. It's going to be tough. I feel like Ankeny Centennial Vortex can also make one heck of a splash here, and maybe upset some choirs in this field. So to finish it out and let Will continue speaking, I'm going to go Linmar 1, 2 Ankeny Centennial, Walkie at the 3. Or wait, did I say Walkie at 3 or Cedar Rapids Inc? Oh, I'm gonna go Walkie at the 3, Cedar Rapids Inc. at the 4. And then the 5, I'm gonna go Ankeny Centennial Vortex. 6, I'm going Prairie.
All right. Well, I will go. I will abide by my long-held rule, and by long-held, I mean I've had this since like March of last year. Of lighthouses are cheat code in show choir, and by that logic, I have to pick Ankeny Centennial Spectrum to win the competition because lighthouses are cheat code. That means I'm putting Linmar in second, and I don't think that's poo-pooing on Linmar. I just think that. Well, I have to, and I'm committed to the bit. In third place, I will put Walkie. In fourth place, I will put Prairie. In fifth place, I will put Cedar Rapids Kennedy. And in sixth place, I will put. Wait, hold on. Kennedy just beat Prairie last weekend.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll still put Prairie ahead of them. And in sixth place, I'll put Ankeny Centennial Vortex. Tough competition. Wibberty bibberty. The Mount Zion Midwest Invitational, large mixed lineup for this one. Marquette Center Stage, Naperville North Entourage, Wheaton North Flight, Glenwood Titan Fever, Carroll Magic, Troy Buchanan Express, and Center Grove Sound System. Counting up, we've got Indiana and Missouri and Illinois all represented here. Center Grove, obviously being Center Grove. Troy coming off of a win. Wheaton North sitting atop the Illinois poll rankings. Homeroomshowchoir.com/blog. Click on the Illinois tab. Carroll needing to prove themselves after Chesterton. Glenwood dancing like vintage Titan Fever this year. Naperville North and Marquette, both finals misses at their last competitions, looking for their get back here. 2 women's final spots as well. Ethan, you are the Illinois expert. Break it down for us.
Broke it down.
Did a little bit of that Matt Watson Glenwood choreo?
Yeah, I just broke it down for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is gonna be I honestly have no idea what's really gonna happen here. This is gonna be such a fantastic event. I feel like this mix of choirs is just it's almost unique in the sense because I don't know how to explain it. I feel like one of these choirs in some like they always face each other one way or another throughout the season. However, they are coming together here and really facing off. Something that jumps out to me is Naperville North. They didn't make finals at their first competition they went out to, and then they've hosted. I mean, it's been a while since they've been on the stage performing competitively. So I truly don't know where to place them. Plus, I pulled a Will Soakwit, and I didn't see their host performance at Naperville.
No, my bad habits are rubbing off on people.
I saw, was it Vivant. I saw Vivant, but I didn't see Entourage.
Okay. Hold on, hand up.
Did I see Entourage? I don't think I did.
For the record, I watched Omaha South the Ambassadors in exhibition. It was absolutely electric. Doing El Mismo Solo by Alvaro Soler, yes, all the goodies. Much to the chagrin of all my staffers who hated that I wasn't on my phone in the middle of that exhibition performance to keep up with the latest news. So watch your exhibitions, stay off your phones, yes. Especially when it's you got mail.
Yeah, I agree. At 8:30 in the morning or whatever it is, we'll just light it up the stage to begin the day. That's gonna be fun. So Wheaton North, I feel like this choir could be the biggest wild card, because they've already been battle tested this year. They had a win with only best band at Bettendorf. They got 4th at Chesterton when, that was, as you know, insane competition. So they've already gone up against the bulk of, show choir in the Midwest. In attendance there was Carroll, who missed out on finals. So I feel like those two really have something to prove kind of with each other, to see how much Carroll's improved since Chesterton and how much Wheaton North can fight them off in this finals round. Glenwood, definitely a sneaky finals pick here. They have really improved and they have had some really good outings lately. 2 third places and a second at Anderson A-Town, where they got best choreography and best band. And Ben Eklund and Matt Watson doing great things over there as well. Their choreography team, they look great on stage. It's just gonna be, and then you throw in Troy, who I saw this last weekend, who is definitely going to be hungry after getting best vocals and not winning the competition. Leaving that within that competition, when final awards were happening, I threw my hands up and said, Troy was probably the best overall choir. I probably stand by that. I think that they checked a lot of boxes on the score sheet. However, it just kind of, the show itself just kind of didn't drag you along as it should. It's still a fantastic show. It's just one of those that, last year, Will, you can attest to this, being at Mount Zion, that show finished probably it finished probably better than one of the grand champions, Grenada.
It was moving. It was moving at the end of that set.
Yeah, it was probably top 2 in closing shows. It was super, super fun, and it closed so well. I feel like,
for all you show designers, put Big Time Rush in your closer. It works every time.
I feel like if they can improve and keep the energy throughout their whole show, they could truly make some noise here. However, I just can't, I don't see anyone beating Center Grove. The way that they're doing, them stepping into Mount Zion's auditorium is going to be a sight to behold. Mount Zion, I mean, we have been blessed to have, an amazing auditorium where it's the acoustics are very, very well and truly blessed. It's been a while since we've been able to stick a choir in there like Center Grove. So I feel like they're really, really, really going to light up the stage vocally, and of course show design and dancing as well. So I'm going to have them winning this competition. I feel like the judges can look in other directions as well, because any of these choirs can step up big time, because we're just at that point of the year where anything could truly happen. I guess that's every point of the year, but truly every choir is rounding into form at this point, and you just don't know who's really going to step up. So Center Grove at my 1, and my 2, I'm gonna go Wheaton North Flight at my 2. My kind of gives me, shades of last year where Wheaton South really, really stepped up in finals, and they grabbed that 2 spot after being 4th. I think they were 4th in finals. And they ended up
prelims, you mean?
Spots. Yeah. I see Wheaton North kind of doing the same thing here, grabbing that 2 spot. My 3, I'm gonna go with Carroll Magic. I feel like they have a really good opportunity to bounce back here. I mean, Will, you saw their show. I sadly was unable to see it throughout the Chesterton live stream throughout the day. And from what I've heard from other people, it just had so much room to grow, to the point where it can truly be a menacing show to go up against if you're another choir. They were right there on missing out on finals. I feel like they can get a podium placement here. Then Troy, I feel like, are going to be like this. They're going to be rubbing knuckles. It's going to be so, so, so tight. I'm going to have Troy in the 4. And then my last final spot is going to be between Glenwood, Naperville North, and Marquette, who I haven't even talked about yet. Marquette, I was able to see them at Troy. Such a fun show. They just continue to get better year after year after year, and it's really impressive. They're one of the choirs that just to keep your eye out on. I know we've had some other choirs and Gretna's and so on and so forth who grow so fast and are competitive, as soon as possible. But Marquette is slowly just doing this every single year. So I feel like they can also make noise at this competition. It's going to be tough. However, having seen Glenwood, I'm going to go with Glenwood for that final spot. I feel like there's just so many unknowns with Naperville North. They've had a lot of time to practice their show and get better, and I'm very excited to see it. But it's just kind of an unknown, and I know that they were upset about missing finals at Crete. Crete, right? Yeah, it was Crete, which was kind of a wacky competition. However, I feel like this is going to be just really tight, and it's going to be an insane competition. Then, of course, my 2 in Trouble division, I'm going to go Center Grove Debtones at the 1, Carroll at the 2. It's going to be a great, great, great competition. It's going to be a lot of fun kicking my feet up and watching a few shows and that I don't get to see every single season, even though I was blessed last season traveling all over the place. So it's gonna be super super fun in Mount Zion, Illinois.
Let's roll over a couple hours to the east to Franklin Central on the south side of Indianapolis. The lineup for this one in the large mix division: Lawrence Central, Central Sound, Robert Seabird, Vocal Intensity, Plainfield Ballet Bow, Brownsburg Spotlight Singers and Company, Carmel Ambassadors, and Fisher's Electrum. In the large women's division, LC Sweets, Plainfield Femme Fatale, Brownsburg Starlight, Carmel Accents, and Fisher's Sound. Carmel, 2 dominating wins. Let's not say dominating. I don't think they had that huge of a gap at Chesterton, but 2 commanding wins so far this season. Then after that, I mean, any one of Fisher's, Brownsburg, Plainfield, RCB, Lawrence Central, where do you see large mix shaking out from second on back?
Yeah, from second on back, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So, yeah, I have Carmel in the 1. I feel like they're just the most steady hand choir going in. I'm going to lean on Brownsburg here. I'm going to lean on Brownsburg. Them being first in their division last week out kind of gives me hope that they can get a second place spot here. However, I don't want to count out Fisher's anytime soon. Fisher's has been a really sneaky, like a silent, sneaky choir this year who have gotten pretty good placements, and I feel like they can make some noise. I know they ended up, you look at last week who they lost to, and they lost to 3 outstanding choirs in their field. So they are just sneaky good, and I'm very excited to see how they end up doing here. So, I'm going to have them in the 3 spot. After that, I got to go Plainfield. I'm going to go Plainfield in the 4, and then I'm going to go Lawrence Central or Robert Seabird. I'm going to go Lawrence Central. I feel like Lawrence Central had a good time out. They got second place. They've had 2 fourth place finishes, so they've kind of been in the middle of the pack so far this season. However, their last result makes me hopeful that they could snag a final spot here. And then I'll have Robert Seabird rounding it out.
Let's talk about this large women's division as well. We have Carmel Accents and Fisher's Sound. Accents coming off of 2 division wins. Sound took it on the chin a little bit last weekend to FC High Voltage. Where do we see this one playing out?
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. Sound, amazing choir for a long time in the indie circuit. Definitely considered one of the best treble choirs in the country for the longest time. I feel like that they have a good shot to be the second place spot here. Them being above Oak Mountain, the Muses, I feel like is a good placement for them. Because, going into that, you didn't really know if Oak Mountain would have the juice to really blow them out of the water, or if Fisher's was just going to hold strong like they always do. And they held strong. They really, really put on an amazing show. And then you have Plainfield, who got a 3rd place in treble finals their last time out. So that's going to be interesting to see. Brownsburg, who has only 1 competition, which was Kenton, which they didn't end up performing in finals. So this is going to be really, really, really interesting competition. I feel like I just got to go with the last 2 performing in the division. I'm going to go Carmel Accents, Fisher Sound, Brownsburg Starlight Voices. I feel like they are going to be really, really hungry after not performing in finals last time out. I feel like they could grab that 3rd spot from Plainfield. I feel like it's very capable. So I'm going to have Plainfield in my 4, and then Lawrence Central rounding it out. Sweets.
A couple programs at the whole that I'm looking at here to just kind of turn over a new leaf on things. Number 1 is Brownsburg. Things happened with them last week in Kenton. We are already over our hour. We don't have the time to go into things. But this represents an opportunity to come back to Indiana, turn the page, make a fresh start. This is a group that's going to roll all the way to Show Choir Nationals and host a really big competition in the middle of it too. So good placements here, just good shows, good smooth shows, no matter where the placement winds up being, I think would be a really good step in the right direction for Brownsburg and just kind of putting everything from last week behind them. Another group kind of in that same camp is Plainfield. This is a group that debuted on February 7th at Southmont, or I should say a program. I don't think either Bellabo or Femme Fatale really got the placement that they wanted at Southmont. They hosted on February 14th and were not in action last weekend. So it's been a hot minute. But this also really starts the stretch run of the season for Plainfield. Traditionally, they are an ISMA choir, so that would roll all the way to ISMA on March 21st. And a good placement here for Plainfield, similar to Brownsburg, would kind of put what's in the past, and then chug forward as we roll into March here. It is kind of nuts saying that choirs are just kind of gearing up for the main part of their season, considering many choirs across Minnesota and Wisconsin are done. Pretty much everyone in Iowa comes to an end, besides those of you out in the far west and whoever's going to DCG and West Delaware out in the central and eastern side of things. And we haven't even talked about California yet. I just want to throw in a quick plug for Esperanza. Burbank versus Los Al in February. When did this start happening? Like 2020 Brea Olinda, is this you? So really excited to get the California season pumping. Hopefully we'll be able to talk about Burbank next year. Go look up the 2020 Brea Olinda Cal Classic while you're at it. And get mind blown at the results, and then wonder what could have been in California Advanced Mix 1 Show Choir that year. In Utah, Advanced Mix 1 Show Choir. So Ethan, I will be at Auburn. You will be at Mount Zion. Anything else that you want to say ahead of this weekend?
No, yeah, I'm just glad that you were gonna have boots on the ground from around the country, and of course at some of the top competitions. I just try to enjoy it as much as we can, because we'll be sitting in the dog days of summer being like, man, show choir wins so fast. This being, I don't know how many more 30 plus competition. This might be the last we have, going in. I know early first week of March is usually pretty big as well. But it's just hold on. And if you're performing for the last time, have a blast, make memories, try to keep your composure on stage. You're still getting scored. Hopefully, senior nights, you can really let it go or whatever. However, like everyone just have a great show choir Saturday, have a blast, and really just soak in the greatness that's happening across the country on stage. So yeah, keep your ear on the ground, hop into showchoir.com. I feel like the record's been broken like 3 times this season, which was crazy because it was February 1st, 2020 for the longest time.
I was cleaning up my home comp.
A memory burnt into my brain. But yeah, I feel like show choir is just continually growing in the right direction, and it's truly blessing to be a part of it and witness it. So yeah, everyone have a great show choir Saturday. If you see me at Mount Zion, hit me up. I'll be there. I'll be chillaxing in the back, incognito always. But yeah, it's gonna be a great show choir Saturday.
For that, he's Ethan. I am William. Have a wonderful show choir weekend. If you're performing, break a leg. If you're spectating, have a great time. If you're traveling at all, safe travels. We will see you next week, Tuesday, on Show Choir Nation.